Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is Karma Speaks. We're back with another video. Right now, I'm just trying to stay consistent, trying to make sure I'm pushing out this content. But there's this topic that I want to talk about that I heard somebody say this, and it kind of gave me like one of those like aha moments when it comes to finances and even business and life in general, right? So, next video, I'm going to try to react to something. But for this one, I want to just talk about the principle of feeling rich and actually being rich, right? The video that I saw kind of just, as a brief synopsis, basically said, you only feel rich when you spend like you're rich, right? You only feel rich when you spend money. You don't feel rich when you just are stacking your chicken. And I thought about it and I sat with it and I'm like, you know what? That's a fact, because so many people, especially people in my community, right? Black community. So many black people love to just spend money before they really have it like that, right? They're eager to get the AMG or the C class or whatever just to look rich. They're eager to wear some type of designer. They're eager to get this. They're eager to get that. And it's like, you're spending rich money when you don't even have rich money yet. And so that's why you're always like staying paycheck to paycheck and always chasing the ball, trying to keep up, right? And so, yeah, you spending that money makes you feel rich, but you're not actually financially progressing, right? And so even for myself today, I make good money for my age. And like, if I wanted to, man, I could just show out. I could really show out on people my age, right? I wouldn't really stunt on actual adults who are like in their 40s. But in terms of other, 22-year-olds or 20 whatever year olds, I could afford a Corvette car payment. Corvette is $1,200 a month for a car payment for a brand new C8, right? Mid-engine, if I wanted to. I looked it up the other day because I'm like, okay, when it makes financial sense, that might be a purchase for me. But as of right now, it doesn't make financial sense. Even if I, could afford the payment, or I could pay cash for certain models of it, or a Camaro, whatever it is. But the point being, a lot of times we're so fixated on the feeling of success by what we can showcase to others and a lifestyle that we so-called want to live, right? You want to live in that high-rise apartment and pay 3 to 5 bands for it. You want to have the nice fancy car. You want to have the fancy clothes. And that's kind of what keeps people trapped and like keeps them back from actually progressing financially, is that they're spending that money before they really even have it like that. I got my cat over here. She's trying to be a part of the video. But these people, you're spending your money before you even really have it like that. You're spending big money before you got big money. And you're never going to get ahead like that. And I've heard over the years, a lot of people say, yeah, well, I spend because I know I'm going to get it right back or whatever. But you're not actually getting ahead. You're going to get it back, but at no point was there a plan to get ahead. You raise your expenses up to $10,000 a month, but you said, I'm going to get it back. You're going to get $10,000 back so that you can spend $10,000 again, but you're not telling me how you're going to get $15,000 and spend 10 and then save 5. And so what I heard from this video that I watched, I don't know if it was a TikTok or a YouTube video, it just made me really think. While yes, I still feel as if, I'm poor, even with the money that I make or that I have or whatever, I still feel poor. I have a very bird's eye view of my life to where I get to see things and say, I don't need anything to show out for, right? I could save like 80% of my income because there's nothing out there for me to get that, would bring me more joy on a long-term basis. If I got a new pair of shoes, the shoes will be clean for about a month and I might feel good about the purchase for about a week. After that, I could care less. I'm going to go back to wearing my regular old Converses. I'll wear those new shoes for a week, run them up, and then I'll go back to the Converse because I'm like, I'm always working. I don't want to wear the nice shoes like right now. I want to wear the Converse because I know I'm getting money in the Converse. And so to piggyback off of that, there's this concept that people have when it comes to saving money that you wait a while to make a purchase. Meaning, say you find something that you want to buy, right? You want to buy a new watch. And instead of just making that impulsive purchase and going to the mall and going to the Rolex store or going online and buying it, you wait a week and then see if you had thought about that purchase throughout the week. And if at the end of it, did you really want it or did you really miss it? Was it a point of like conversation every day? Like, did you really need that thing? Because if you really felt that way, then you would talk about it the entire time. But if you didn't even think about it, then it's like, that's not a purchase that you really need, you know? And it all comes together because it's like, we're all playing this little game of, show and tell. I got to show somebody that I make money or that I'm valuable instead of just being valuable and just making your money and that's it. You got to let people know, right? And some people will try to argue and say, oh, well, you want to enjoy life and you want to do this and that. Yes, enjoy life, but also make sure your future is secured. I'm so locked in. My future is going to be airtight. I tell you, my future is going to be airtight because I have contingencies in play. I know my stacks that like whatever I make in a month isn't always going to be green. I'm not always going to be making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 down the line. I know I might not. And that's why I have this 100K goal, because it's like, look, I know in the future, I might have some months or maybe some years where stuff is dried up, or maybe my industry gets so saturated where I have to pivot and make a different move. So now I got a savings or I got a nest egg that I could always fall back on and then build something different, build something that's lucrative. And a lot of people don't have that foresight, especially young people. I think back to about a year or two ago, I was having a conversation with my friend and it was kind of about retirement accounts. And I was like, man, F retirement accounts. I don't need... That's like a crappy backup plan, or like, that's like there's only plan A. Plan A is the only option, like get rich or die trying. I don't want to have a retirement account. And that was the dumbest thing I could have said, right? The concept is true. Plan A is the only option, but it is so dumb to say, I'm not going to have a retirement account. Like that is, and you'll eventually understand, when you start to like make your plays or whatever, you're securing your future no matter what. You're securing your future. I know if I throw in just $20,000 today into some sort of retirement account, right? So like, let's just say I max out a Roth IRA for 3 years, $7,000 a year. I max it out for 3 years. I'm going to retire with about $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 just off that, probably. Just off that, off an initial $20,000 investment. And if I continue to contribute over the course of a career, I'm for sure going to retire with a couple $1 million, at least $2 million, maxing it out at 22 years old. That's money that I would be leaving on the table if I sat with the notion, that's a plan B, or that's whatever. People have to start to think with a little bit of foresight. We're so eager to like do things right now and only think about right now that you are messing up your future bag. You're messing it up bad. You're not even utilizing the max of your potential. Right? If you put it into perspective, let's say I got a vet right now and I made that $1,200 a month car payment. That's $1,200 a month that I could have been putting into the stock market or putting into a savings account. What is that? What's 1,200 times? That's $14,000 that I could have been saving or investing into the stock market, or I could have put as a down payment towards a rental property. If I wanted to go down south and go to auctions or whatever, I could go down to Alabama. My dad's watching this. I could go down to Alabama and get a couple properties with 10 bands instead of paying for a vet making a payment on a vet, I could have been doing that. And so we're so eager just to showcase that we got it or that we're valuable, that we mess up like our bag, our current bag and our future bag. So that was really it. I just wanted to talk about that, about how we don't really feel rich until we start spending the money. You're going to feel poor as you're stacking it. I feel poor. I can make 12 grand in a month, but because I only spent $1,500, whatever it is, I'm living bare minimum. I'm eating ramen every day. I'm taking care of my bills and my mom's bills, and then I'm eating ramen every day. I feel poor, but my bank account is getting full. Bank account is going to be fat. Promise you, my bank account is going to be fat. Stock portfolio is going to be fat, right? Real estate portfolio might be fat one day if I decide to invest in real estate. And I'd rather that than showing out for the outside world when my inside world is already fulfilled because I'm secure. I'm gonna leave it at that though. I appreciate anybody that watched this. Definitely consider it. Think about it. Don't mess up your future bag for right now, man. Appreciate anybody that watched this.